Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa, I read, and welcome to another video. And in this video, I'm doing a book haul. I've accumulated these books over the last few months, so it's not like I bought them all at once or anything. But I have over 40 books here to get to, so I have a bunch of different stuff. I have some YA, I have some romance, whether it's contemporary or historical, some suspense romance, and so let's just get into it. So let's start with the YA stuff. Maybe I'll start with an arc, which is Remember Me by Estelle Laurie, and this is a very short YA contemporary where I think someone loses their memory and it's about them getting it back again. And it sounds really cute. I really need to get to it. I know this got pushed back to 2022. It might be out already. So I am excited to give this a try when I get to it. So the next one is Wondrous Strange by Leslie Livingston. When I was obsessed with fairies like a few years back, I noticed that this was a good recommendation for that. So I know this is a YA fairy fantasy. So I'm excited to get to this at some point. Another fairy fantasy is Need by Carrie Jones, again YA book about fairies, and these are both the first book in a series, so I can't wait to get to these at some point. I also love steampunk, so when I saw The Girl in the Steel Corset, which is the first in the Steampunk Chronicles, again another YA, I just had to pick it up. I remember seeing this online before. It's set in 1897 England. And this is one of my favorite things ever. Like, I love steampunk so much. I know a lot of like historical romance fantasies usually have a lot of steampunk elements, which I always love. And so it kind of reminiscent of like the infernal devices and things like that. So I can't wait to get to this. And the next one I just picked up because of the author, and that is The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson, and this is like a mystery series. This is book one in that series, and I think it's about a young woman who goes to a boarding school and there's some mystery or maybe deaths that she decides to try and solve. It kind of sounds reminiscent of her, I forget her other mystery series, I'll show a picture of it here. Vanishing Stairs, I know, is like one of the titles. It kind of just reminds me of that, and it's set in London again, and it's a mystery, and it just sounds like something I would really like, so I picked it up. Now moving on, I have some adult titles here, and the first one is The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood. I actually read this last year and fell in love with it just like everybody else, and I only recently picked it up around Valentine's Day. I just knew I had to have it in my life on my bookshelf so I can reread it one day, and so here we go. I picked up a copy for myself. I have a nonfiction here, which I do enjoy every once in a while, and I have The Princess Diaries by Carrie Fisher. I saw this secondhand, and I love Star Wars so much, and I have huge respect for Carrie Fisher, and I just thought it'd be really interesting to read one of her memoirs. She has quite a few, so if I end up liking this, I'll probably pick up her other stuff. But I find her really fascinating, especially being, you know, the person who played Princess Leia, and, you know, all the complicated feelings around that character. I know that she had complicated feelings about her character, and I still love Star Wars, but I understand, you know, the complications around it, because she was definitely like a sex icon in a lot of ways. And even though Princess Leia was really forward-thinking character, there were still some issues around sexism around it as well. But I'm just so curious to read one of her books, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have a woman's fiction, and that is Maybe This Time by Jill Mansell. I've read a few Jill Mansells before and really enjoyed them. They definitely lean more woman fiction, contemporary. There usually are some kind of romances in them, and three of them that I've read I did really enjoy, and one I didn't like as much, but I am really excited to get to this one. I don't even know what it's about, but it's usually set in England somewhere because Jill Mansell is an English author, and I'm really excited to get to this. My mom passed it on to me, so I should give it a try. I have 3 books in the Hopes Crossing series. I don't know the order. I don't even know if I have book 1, but they're all written by Rayanne Thine. And so I have Willowleaf Lane, I have Blackberry Summer, and then I also have Christmas in Snowflake Canyon. So I have these 3 books. I honestly don't know what they're about. I don't even know if I'll like them, but I picked up one book, I can't remember which one it was, on a whim, and then I realized it was a series, and I thought, well, I should probably read book 1. And so I started collecting them, and eventually I will get to book 1 and see if I like it. If I don't, then I'll probably pass on this series. But I don't know, I think I picked one up in a free library box, and so that's where this collection started. I have a couple harlequins. I have a bind up, which I picked up because one of them is written by Brenda Jackson, and I've read a few of her harlequins. I've started her Medeiros family saga. I read the first three books, I think, in that series, and so I picked this one up because I was getting kind of obsessed with her books, and I was kind of hoping it was part of that series, but it's not. It's part of her Westmoreland series, which is even longer. One of those stories is called Breaking Bailey's Rules. And then the other title in here is by Reese Ryan, and it's called His Until Midnight. And His Until Midnight is part of, what is it called? The Texas Cattlemen's Club Bachelor Auction. And so since I have this, I feel the need to start that series as well. So I picked up one of the titles. I think this might be the first one. It's a short 6-book. I know that 6 doesn't sound short, but in Harlequin it is actually short. But it's a 6-book series. Each book is written by a different author, and this one's called Runaway Temptation. And like I said, the series is called Texas Cattlemen's Club Bachelor Auction. I don't know. I thought I would give it a try. I picked these up kind of on a whim, and I really do want to read more Harlequins. Brenda Jackson's books are basically Harlequins. They're very short, around like 200 pages or so, but I do want to try some other Harlequins at some point as well, so I'm kind of excited to get to these. I have been collecting the Sookie Stackhouse series, so I have 2 more titles. I don't know if you can see them, but they're like right here. So I have a total of 9 now, and these are the next 2 that I picked up. So I have Dead in the Family and Definitely Dead. I only have a couple more left to get, so not too many to go. Yeah, I don't know why I just did that, but okay. So I'm excited to get to that series. I have a feeling I'm gonna love that series, and then once I fall in love with the series, then I can watch the TV show and fall in love with the TV show, because I really need to get to it. Okay, I'm gonna move on to some historical romances. I have some like newer. They're not really new, but they're not old. I have some really old historical romances as well. Okay, so the first one I have is A Royal Kiss and Tell. I made the mistake of like picking up some random historicals because I was looking for the setbacks, and now I've just added them to my TBR, and that was a huge mistake. But A Royal Kiss and Tell by Julia London. This is, I think, like book 2 in a trilogy of historical romances. I don't know anything about this, but clearly it's going to be like a royal historical romance, so I'll get to this at some point. I have a couple Lindsay Sands. I really want to read more Lindsay Sands. I've only read 2 of her books, but I love both of them. I have What She Wants, which looks good. I'm excited to get to this. And then I also have Devil in the Highlands, which is the first in a series. This one is just a standalone, but this one is first in a series, I think, just like the Highlanders series or something like that, and there's not much of a setback, it's just that. But there's 3 in this series, and so I really want to get to this. I'm sure I will like Highlander romances. I also have 3 Sarah MacLean books. The first one is 9 Rules to Break When Romancing a Rake. This is the first in the Numbers series, I think. Again, it's another short, I think, just like trilogy where the titles have a number in them. I think it's like 9, 10, 11. But yeah, I'm excited to get to this. And then I have 2 books in another trilogy of hers. The first one, which I'm actually like so excited for, A Rogue by Any Other Name, and that's because I think it's a Hades and Persephone retelling. I think that Hades owns like a gambling hell or something like that, so I'm so excited for that. But I also have No Duke Goes Unpunished, and I'm actually going to read this one soon. I know I'm reading them out of order, but I have the audiobook for this, so I will be getting to this really soon. Like, I think it's my next audiobook, so I'm excited for that. So these are my older historicals that I picked up, and so I'm gonna be I wasn't intending to add them to my TBR, but I just decided, you know what, let's just do it. And a lot of them are so cheap at Value Village. I'm just like so shocked. And I just love these covers so much. And so the first one is The Devil Earl by Deborah Simmons. This is part of a series. I'm gonna get to it. There's a guy on the back. I don't know what any of these are about, but I'm excited for them. Love, Hear My Heart by Sonia T. Pelton. I don't know. It's just so cool looking. I just love these covers, and there's a sticker, and these are so cheap. I just couldn't help myself. Big Bad Wolf by Linda Jones. I actually found these on Kindle Unlimited because I think it was Kindle Unlimited. I don't remember, or maybe I bought them. I don't remember, like on Kindle. So you can read these stories on Kindle, but this is part of a fairy tale romance series, and Linda Jones, her other name is Linda Winstead Jones. She writes other things as well, but the first 9 books she writes, and then the series continues with the same kind of cover by other authors. Very long series. I'm just going to focus on Linda Jones books specifically, but I own this title, and I have the other ones on my Kindle, I think. I have Midnight Princess by Jo Goodman, and this is like one of those things that move. I forget what series this is, but I have this. It's so cool looking. And then this is the series that is on Kindle Unlimited, I'm pretty sure. It's The Rebel Bride by Catherine Coulter. I'm trying not to, there we go. I'm gonna read the first one in the series, The Countess, and that one is on Kindle Unlimited. So hopefully it's good. And so yeah, I bought these for either the setbacks or the covers, and that was very wrong of me. The last 3 older historicals are all by Kathleen E. Litowis. I started collecting her books when I just found this in a library box, and I just couldn't believe that I found this version like for free. I'm just like obsessed. So I got really, really lucky there. This is one of her titles, Kathleen E. Litowis. She's like the first historical romance writer. I also have Come Love a Stranger, and then there's like a back little circle there, and then I have Forever in Your Embrace and The Setbacks on the back. And I was able to find these really reasonable, and I'm just so excited to own them, and I do plan to read them at some time. They're all very long so they're very intimidating, but I own them, and I love that I own them. And the last stack I have here is very large, and it's not all the books because there's way more books in this series, but I decided to start collecting the In Death series by J.D. Robb. I don't know why it's so hard to say her name, J.D. Robb. She is Nora Roberts. This is her other pen name, where she writes mostly romantic suspense, mystery. It's about a female detective, I'm pretty sure. There's romantic stuff that happens in it as well. And the first book I know for sure is Naked in Death. And then I don't know which is book 2 and which is book 3, but I have Immortal in Death and Glory in Death. I was lucky enough to find this like kind of older looking box set of these books secondhand. So it just like looks like this, and there she is. So that's the first 3 books. And then the rest, I don't even know what number they are. They're just all over the place. It's like over 50 books, this series. And I barely made a dent in the collection. And I had to be careful because I actually accidentally had 2 copies of this. So I've been trying really hard to keep track, but I have Born in Death, Betrayal in Death, Strangers in Death, Kindred in Death, Witness in Death, Concealed in Death, Imitation in Death, Fantasy in Death, Memory in Death, Salvation in Death, and Indulgence in Death. So I really hope I like these books because I have a lot of them. So that is my book haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know if you've read any of these books before. If you have, please comment down below. I love to hear your thoughts and opinions about them. If you've gotten some books recently, please share down below. I'd love to know what you got recently. If you have any book recommendations, I will gladly take them. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. If you have not done so, you can follow me on Goodreads and Instagram. And you know what? I want you to keep reading. Bye.